Welcome y'all, this is Bubba Fett with another prepping video. In this video, it's another Canon video, but this Canon video is more of like a thrifty prepping video. What you're looking at here is a 6-pound can of tomato sauce from Sam's. My wife paid $2.75 for it. Alright, right there if I can get out of the glare. 105 ounces, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. $2.75 is a deal you can't beat. Reason we're going to open this up in Canon is it's just more portable. That way we could trade a jar for something. It's easier to take, it's easier to break down. If we open the can, we'd have to use this pretty rapidly because tomato sauce will spoil in about 15 days or so in the fridge, or less. And you can't really just put it in a old Smucker's jar or anything like that because it just won't stay because there's no seal. And then you have to worry about botulism and stuff. So you can't just put it back in one of these type of jars and throw it in the fridge. It ain't going to work. What you have to do is can it. And like a lot of people out there, I don't have a pressure canner. What I do is a water bath method. And a lot of people out there are probably saying you can't water bath tomato sauce because of the low pH value. Everything you add to it, the basil, the seasonings and stuff, it lowers the pH. Well, think again, I found a good recipe online where it's basically, let me get my notes, for every quart of tomato sauce you add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now I don't have quart jars. What I have are pint jars, typical Mason pint jars, and I've worked it out where it's basically for every pint I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons just to be safe of lemon juice to every one of these bad boys. Before I can it. I'm also going to add some seasoning to it to kind of doctor this up from its store-bought consistency. See right there I got some fresh thyme, I got some fresh basil, fresh dry basil, fresh regular basil. I'm basically going to chop this all up and put it in here. I'm also going to add some onion powder to it and some bay leaves and a little bit of garlic, not that much. Don't want to make it overpowering. As you can see right here before me, what I'm going to do is open this whole can of tomato sauce, pour it in here, add my ingredients, and heat this up to boiling. Because you still have to heat that up. You just can't open a cold jar of tomato sauce, throw it in here and can it. It ain't going to work. Because you still have to get it to a certain temperature, even with the lemon juice, to try to keep botulism from forming. That's why you're adding lemon juice to the whole thing. And that's why people use pressure canners now. Because of botulism. Botulism exists in a lot of, they're little spores and they exist in all types of food. And that's what makes, the primary thing makes food go bad is botulism. It can also be a big health threat if you open up an improperly canned thing of food and it's been there's botulism growing in there. You can tell if there's botulism growing in there if the lid on the can is kind of popped up, but still otherwise sealed. It should always be depressed, and the color will darken. So you got to watch out for that as well. That's why we're opening up the loquat jelly I canned in the first round because I didn't add any lemon juice to it and it's kind of getting discolored. With the loquats have a high acidic value. So you don't have to worry about that with them. And they're discoloring because the lemon juice keeps the color normal. It keeps the pH really high so the color doesn't discolor. But in any event, just to be safe, there's I think 4 jars of loquat from the first batch. And we're just going to open those up and use those just to be safe. The other loquat jelly that we canned, the second batch, added lemon juice to it, and the color hasn't changed at all with those. I think we've pretty much used up the first batch. I think there might be one left in there, but we have still plenty of the second. But I'm going to go ahead. I already got my jars in this pot right here. And I'm going to start boiling them. Behind this pot, there's another can. You can see a little handle sticking out right here. And I got my lids in there. So tomato sauce goes in here. Jars in here. Behind there's my lids. We're going to get all this going. And I'll check back with y'all once I'm ready to transfer this to the jars. And start assembling this. And right before I put them in the water bath, that's when you'll see it again. So stay tuned. Alright, welcome back everybody. As you can see, I've ate half a tin of pie while I was making this tomato sauce. That's not going to help my waist at all, but as you can look before you, there's 6 jars of homemade spaghetti sauce. And we actually had a little bit left over. So I did use a Smucker's jar, but we're going to eat that right away. We're not going to keep it canned because you can't can a Smucker's jar. The wax seal is already ruined on the lid, and they don't sell replacement lids for those. So that's just going to be used for spaghetti or homemade pizza or whatever. But these dudes over here, these are going to go into our storage. And if this works out, then we're going to get a lot more of those $2.75 6-pound cans of sauce. Add a couple spices to it and can it. We could really stock up on tomato sauce for whatever we would need in the future. Spaghetti, I mean, SHTF spaghetti, SHTF pizza, a strong lycopene for dudes out there. I mean, it's good stuff. But let me go ahead and can these, and I'll check back with you at the very end. Alright, this is Bubba Fett just finishing up this video. As you see in front of you, we have 5 jars, not 6 jars, of spaghetti sauce. That's because the 6th jar broke because of imperfection in the mason jar. It's rare, but it happens. It's probably a bubble. This is the bottom I just retrieved out of the water bath. I already threw the top part away. And as you can imagine, each of these jars are covered in a thick layer of sauce on the outside. I'm going to have to turn these guys over and test, make sure that they're okay. And if you can see that, if the light reflects, see how it's sunken in on the top? That's what you're looking for. You also, when you tap it, you're not looking for like a pop or any type of metallic noise, because I'll tell you that there's air in there. I had one of my loquats not set right, and it was disappointing. Alright, they're all set perfectly. 5 jars. In a store, these things would cost you probably about $2 a jar for some fancy spaghetti sauce. Would have been 6, but we had a defective mason jar. But yeah, 6 pounds of spaghetti sauce at Sam's for $2.75. So all this is $2.75, and if you went to the grocery store, it'd be about $2.75, $2.75, $2.75, $2.75. Yeah, so it's definitely a cost saver, and as long as these things keep well, we're definitely going to keep doing this and have a whole supply of our own homemade spaghetti sauce in the cabinet. As always, this is Bubba Fett signing off.